going on? We're back. We're way off base, and we're doing top 5.
We're always way off base, right? Not only mentally, but just in general.
Well, the way that last segment ended. Little nutty.
No homo?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. Top 5 this week was top 5 sports, top 5 athlete cameos in commercials not being in an ESPN commercial.
Because as we all know, ESPN commercials are hilarious, and it wouldn't be fair to all the other commercials.
Right. All right. My number 5 is Ken Griffey Jr. and Torrey Hunter when they play Sandlot inside of Dick's Sporting Goods.
That was a good commercial.
Where Torrey Hunter hits the ball, Ken Griffey goes and gets it. They both run, and they showed Griffey jumping off a second floor, which wouldn't happen because he just break his leg in two.
And it's dangerous.
Right. Don't try that at home, kids.
Please don't.
But they slide in at home, and then you have Ryan Braun, Carl Crawford, and Brandon Phillips sitting on the bench, and they all disagree with each other on if Torrey Hunter was safer out. And it's just a funny commercial. It makes me laugh.
I like it.
Out loud.
My number 5 is back in the day, the Charles Barkley I Am Not a Role Model commercial, because it had a message. It's pretty much, hey, look.
Don't swing like Charles.
Yeah, just don't be like me, because I'm a drunk.
That likes hookers.
And I like to throw people through glass windows of bars.
That likes hookers.
That likes hookers. Likes to gamble with Michael Jordan and Ahmad Rashad.
With hookers.
And hookers. And hookers.
Yeah. That sums that one up.
Mm-hmm.
My number 4 is Dwight Howard and LeBron James in the McDonald's commercial where they're duplicating the old commercial with Larry Bird and Michael Jordan making shots all over the court. And unbeknownst to them, they look over. They're playing for a Big Mac, by the way, and they look over, and Larry Bird has eaten their Big Mac, and they both ask, "Who's that?"
White man always taking things from a brother. I'm just saying.
You hush. Race whistle.
Toot. Number 4. Larry Johnson, Grandmama. Old Converse.
Going old school.
Come on, how can you forget about that? Everybody loved Grandmama.
Grandmama.
He had a night wig on.
Grandmama was on an episode of Family Matters.
Yeah, she was.
I remember that one.
And so was Kendall Gill.
Stop it.
Yeah. Actually, no. Kendall Gill was on an episode of Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Oh, Lord. All right. My number 3 is Troy Polamalu and Joe Mauer in the Head & Shoulders commercial.
Are you making fun of me?
Yeah. Are you making... No.
Are you making fun of me?
Yes. Joe Mauer's got the brown towel around it's a funny commercial. If you haven't seen it, YouTube it. It's hilarious.
My number 3. I'm calling an audible because your Dick's Sporting Goods commercial made me think of another Dick's Sporting Goods commercial when...
I'm glad you added Sporting Goods commercial to the end of that.
You hush. Yeah. When Steven Jackson...
Oh, I hate you so much.
is in the line. And, the scene is him doing his thing in slow motion. Just batting off defenders.
Rolling off people.
And then it cuts to reality, and he's like...
Slow-mowing
around. Cutting people in the line, and I'm pretty sure he's, pushed somebody in the face.
I think he elbowed someone in the face, too.
And then there's another commercial when Clay Matthews smashes through a shoe display, and the kid was all like, I'm just here to get some shoes, Clay Matthews. But, yeah, those Dick's commercials, they're funny things. Funny things.
No homo.
Funny dick use.
Since Griff took mine, that was going to be my number 2. Steven Jackson again, going in slow-mo around people, bashing them in the face. So we'll go to Griff for number 2.
My number 2. You can't get better than Little Penny and Penny Hardaway. And Fernie.
And Little Penny was Chris Rock, which is that much better.
Oh, yeah. That's what made it best. You know that voice. This is back when Chris Rock was huge. Probably one of the highest grossing.
I don't know, but he really wasn't even that huge then.
That was when he was like dropping an HBO special every like other year.
Yeah, I'm just saying Chris Rock when he was like in his prime was a little bit later. But that's when people finally, because he was in Sergeant Bilko, and no one else knows that. I just said it. That's right, Sergeant Bilko. Chris Rock was in it, and he was a computer nerd.
Wow, I didn't know that, and I'm black.
Right. Right. So,
but this was after he was asking for them cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
For them cheeseburgers.
All right. My number 1 is Peyton Manning in the MasterCard commercial from a couple years ago, where I believe he's in like San Diego, and the concierge brings in like a fruit basket, and he goes, "Don't choke on it." Peyton's like, "That's a good idea. I'll make it into a fruit bowl." Then he goes outside, and he's on the porch, and there's a maid on the porch, and he's like, "Nice day." She's like, and she basically tells him to F off. Or no, she says, "Go for a hike." He's like, "You know what? It's perfect weather. I will go for a hike." And it's just a funny commercial because they show him in every city that hates him.
Yeah, this is true. I like that commercial. My number 1, you already mentioned it. Actually, you did not mention it. You did mention it.
I did mention it, but not as one of my picks.
But it's not my number 1 anymore. But I will say Brian Wilson in these new Taco Bell commercials is going to be my number 1 because they're hilarious.
This just in, me.
Yeah.
And then he eats the chalupa.
He takes it from the guy.
Are you going to fight that beard?
There's ninjas in there. No. Of course not. No better than that. But, yeah, I do enjoy anything Brian Wilson. It would have been even better if just the machine was just sitting in the table next to him.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Top 5 for next week. I want the 5 players in the NFL that have underperformed so far this year.
What? Mike Williams? Who? What?
Nah,
Yeah, actually.
He's
James Myers, you bring up a valid point.
I'm just saying. The 5 players who have underperformed this year.
All right, I can do that.
You dig?
I do.
All right. That is it for top 5 this week. We'll be back with basically your biggest top 5 NFL disappointments next week. So stay tuned.